Hello YouTube and welcome back to another episode of Let's Build a Egyptian Temple. And Egyptian Temple is the correct English. Good start to the video, Nick. Already can't get your words out. Okay, so I'll give a quick tour. I did do this in my Cerulean Capuchin update video that scared a few people. But you know, I'm going to give a proper tour of this. I'm thinking of doing a tutorial on these pillars. Let me know if you want to see that. Using lots of different colour and stuff. We've got these great beaming windows that let a lot of light in. If I actually put a shaders pack on, it should work more effectively, or at least it would if the temple was positioned the right way. But yeah, okay. I'm just going to turn shaders off because you can see stuff better. But yeah, so we've got two different pillars alternating, you know, the red and the white, but the tops are exactly the same. I did experiment with different tops and it just looked out of place. So we've got that. Detailing for this back wall and for that wall over there. I don't know about the derpy pixel art. Pixel art on the front looks okay. These ones on the side, I'm not too sure. I'm also thinking of having a statue of Ra. Now, Ra was sort of the god of gods. He was Zeus of Egypt, pretty much. So I'm thinking of having a statue of Ra in the middle. And once the temple's finished and I've moved it to where it's going to sit in the plot, that's when we're going to start doing like the market stalls and stuff in here, because this courtyard would have been used as a market during festival times. So that's when the plot's going to be set, which can mean I can do lots of cool things in the city. Hopefully I'll have to Google the festivals and stuff like that. Okay, so let's get on to actually doing stuff. So now we're working on the next part of the temple, which is the Hypostyle or Hypostyle or I don't know, I think it's Hypostyle. The Hypostyle hall. So it's the exact same width. It's a little bit shorter in length, and it's pretty much the exact same as this place. It's just actually got a ceiling. So what we're going to have is probably something along the lines of a pillar there, a pillar there, a pillar here, a pillar here. There's going to be two really big ones. I might do it three, so we'll do a set of 3 pillars. I'm just wary of, like, you know, the edge of the plot's over there. So we've got 3 ones here. We've got really big ones that are going to hold up the main bit of roof. You know, then same on this side. So it's only going to be 18 pillars that we need to work. Now, some of the pillars are going to be the same. I might just reuse these ones for the smaller sections. Might be easier. Changing the middle sections, of course, but keeping the top bits. And the big ones, they were a little bit taller, and it said that they were made to look like the papyrus plant, which we actually have in Conquest. If I get the sugarcane, where's sugarcane? I've not used these blocks in so long. I'm also going to need a bit of water and the biome tool. So we actually have the papyrus plant in Conquest texture pack. If we just go up a little bit higher, there you go. That's the papyrus plant, pretty much. That's an unflowered one. A flowered one's got like colours and stuff on it, which is kind of what these pillars are meant to represent. I know they don't really look much like them, but that's the idea of the Egyptian architectures. They were shaped to look like that. So, you know, you got the ones that aren't by the light, because the light was only at the top section here. They were unflowered, and the ones that were by the light were flowered. So we're going to have different types of pillars in here. I might do 4, and I might do like a little square top instead of having like a rectangle. So we'll go for 4, I think. So with that in mind, also this area was then used for rituals and stuff of the like. So we're just going to go out like this, exactly the same. And I think we had a gap of 3, didn't we? So we can do that. And then we need to start thinking about our pillars. So in fact, I can copy and paste these. And just to save a bit of time, I will be back when I'm done. Okay, so that took so long. That was way longer than I was expecting it to take. Just check that's all the way off. So what I've done is, I realised that we could just copy and paste these pillars in here, because it is 3 across. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's what I did, and then I moved these inner ones in by a block each. So it's a 5 wide gap in the middle now. So we're going to build these up, and these are going to be taller. I've also raised the floor up by 1 block, because one picture I saw, each section, like new room as it were, had like a raised block. And also the roof has been lowered by a block, because again, each new room that they went into, it was slightly lowered, although the middle section of this is going to be raised. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. So yeah, that's the kind of idea behind that. Also, we're going to need to get some slabs, so let me just do this now before I forget. There we go, sandstone slab. And then, boop, 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 boop. There we go, dead easy. So we've got that there, comes up here. I might put doors on here. I'm assuming there would have been a door to stop people just, you know, sneaking through there. The walls are going to be built up dead simply. After this bit is the main sanctuary. So that would go off into that section there. The main sanctuary, only the priests were allowed. This room was for priests and pharaohs. And then after the main sanctuary, I think it's just, you know, like, just general storage room. So it's not going to be that much bigger than what we already have. There was 4 sections, and this is the second, so there's actually 2 more rooms. I can't quite think off the top of my head what they are. But I'm going to actually be taking a break midway through this episode, because I've actually been building this for maybe half an hour, 40 minutes, because I was getting confused about different stuff, and it's probably only made up about 8 minutes of footage. So this is what I mean now by, like, I'm trying to make my episodes more interesting, rather than just, you know, spending 20 minutes. And if I spent just 20 minutes and set this up as an episode, nothing would have been done. Whereas now I'm actually feel like we're getting somewhere. So for the rest of this episode, what's going to be happening is I'm going to build up the walls and build up these pillars, sort of off camera, and we'll do the roof. And then the next episode will be detailing. So we are still kind of doing, you know, one episode building a room, next episode detailing a room. And you might have noticed as well, I have took all the colour out of these just so we can have a blank slate and start again. But yeah, that'll be it. I'll be recording the next episode on a different day probably, maybe just later on today. I just need a break. So I might sound different. Things might be happening different, I don't know. But yeah, I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, so I'm back. As you can see, I've just built up the roofs on each of these sides. I've done the walls, and I've built up these pillars. You can see they're a little bit higher than over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on this new roof. So it's basically going to be straight across here, and people might be happy because I'm finally going to be using cobblestone walls. I've been getting quite a few comments of, like, you know, why don't you use cobblestone walls? I have tried them in the pillars and stuff, but because I'm using even numbers, you know, it's 2x2 pillar, it doesn't really fit, and so that's the reason for that, if people have been wondering. But we are going to be using them up here in these windows. I think this is definitely going to be the perfect place for them. So we've got this raised up here, and that's actually okay. Let's see, we kind of want, if this is going to be similar, so I don't know how to blend these together as well. That's another problem I'm having. Let's work on the window first, actually. So we're going to start it here, and it'll be 3 blocks. Or should it just be 2 blocks? And then we're going to get the cobblestone wall, and we're going to use these every so often, like this. I'm going to get this kind of look going. Does that seem fair? Does that look okay? Seem fair. Does that look okay? I think that's letting in way too much light, unfortunately. So maybe... Okay, sorry about that interruption. Postman came, and I've got my graduation pictures. Yay! So graduation pictures, you know, uni, cap and gown, all that stuff. So let's try this fence idea now. We're not going to be able to have a sandstone fence, unfortunately. It kind of looks a little bit better. Kinda. A little bit. Kinda better. But I still think it's going to let in too much light. So, we might just have to go for the old-fashioned sandstone stir arrow slit window type thing. So for that idea, we're just going to do this all the way along like that, and that is actually looking more what I was imagining. So this is working out a little bit better. Why am I so out of breath? I feel out of breath, I don't know why. It's just a really strange feeling. Do I want this to be lowered, or do I want this to be at this height? That's another question we need to start asking ourselves. I think that height's a good enough height. I think we could maybe punch a layer of this back so it's like the roof is kind of rounded, I don't know. Just so it doesn't look as flat. I mean, it's not very realistic, but it's Minecraft, so, you know, it's one of those things that need to be done, need to be addressed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There and there. So just swap them two around like that. And then we have this little square window in the middle. Not sure I like that. Maybe we could, maybe then we'll put a square window here because it's in between these two pillars. Maybe it goes there like that. Yeah, that'll fit, I suppose. And then we can do a couple of these, and then we'll do another square window in a minute in between this gap. So we'll put sort of facing that way like this. Yeah, that works, that fits. And then we can do that. And there we go, we've got our windows for the top section. I think that fits, that looks kind of good. And then the roof, the ceiling, is going to be sort of this height. Or is that too high up? See, this is why I was thinking we maybe need to lower these window sections. But then what I'm going to do with this roof section here. See all these questions and more. Let's see, if we did it, it was going to be sort of mirror that. It would be like this. I think I could get away with lowering it then. Like that. So I should be able to get away with, in fact, we could even move it in, couldn't we, so that the slabs start even lower. That's probably a better idea. So let's do that. And then we can lower this, so let's get our wand back. We're going to copy from there all the way over to here, and then move one down. Perfect. This ceiling can then actually go to the height that I want it at. Sorry about that, I really need a drink, my throat is so dry right now. Move this across. That's a bit better, that's looking more like it. And then this actually goes up to meet that properly. Okay, so right before I end this episode, what I'm going to do is fill all this in off camera, and then give you guys a final sort of showing of what it looks like. It's completely undetailed yet, I'm aware of that, but this is sort of phase 1, and in fact I should be using full blocks instead of slabs to do that, but hey ho. So I'll be back when everything is sort of done properly. Alright guys, so we have finally done the roof. I think it kind of looks okay. It doesn't look as strange as I thought it was going to. I've carried on this central line. It kind of all fits. From the sides here, the windows look pretty nice, I'd like to say. Let's just go take a look from the inside. So we drop in here and we bounce our way over. We come into this hall and you can see you've got all the light coming through from up here. I actually need to fix this line there. And I don't know why, but there's a big beam of light coming from somewhere. Not too sure where, but over here there's a lot of light being let in. It might be from this square, but it's not doing the same over on this side. So I don't really know. Maybe I have to relog and that bug will sort itself out. I'm not too sure, but there we go. No, doesn't seem to be fixed itself. Let's try putting shaders on over Conquest. And yeah, so it's looking very dark in here, which is the idea. So what we're going to be doing in the next episode, we'll be working on a nice design for up here, making these a little bit nicer, and we've got to do sort of paintings and stuff around here. So this hall was sort of this was for all the commoners. This was like the main hall. You'd come in here for prayers and stuff like that. The next room that I'm going to build, depending on the type of temple, they would either have these two things combined into one, or they would have them as two separate rooms. I'm going to combine them just to save a bit of space. But it would be the bark and the sanctuary. Now the bark is spelled B-A-R-Q-U-E, and I think it's a French word, and it means ship or boat or something along those lines. And this room was where the Egyptians believed that the ship would take the gods, or it would take them to the afterlife. It was sort of like the transportation between the two. It was a type of Egyptian ship anyway, the bark. So that was that idea. So there was lots of little altars dotted about. And then the sanctuary, there was like the main shrine to the main god, which I've decided is going to be Amun-Ra, which is the king god that I was on about earlier. So there's going to be a statue to him here, a really big one. I'm going to try to do a smaller version of a statue. I'm really crap at statues, so it should be good for me. I'll be learning something. So we'll have like a small statue shrine to him. Maybe we'll have some other artifacts that represent other gods, like, you know, the head of Anubis and stuff like that, because I won't be able to do pixel art like this. So, you know, I'll have to really work on something. So we'll do stuff like that in the sanctuary as well. I'm looking forward to it. I reckon we'll be done in about 5 episodes time if we're going at the pace that we are going at. Once we are done with this, we'll be moving on to a pyramid. Once we've done the pyramid, we will be moving on to the whole city in general. We're going to have this will be over in that corner, the pyramid over in that corner, and then the city is just going to be all based around it. This whole front is going to be a river, so we're going to have a couple of boats and stuff. Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to this. This is one of the most fun series for me to record. I don't know why. I think it's because I've not done Egyptian before. I'm really enjoying this series. I really enjoy making it, especially when you come through stuff like this. How many times do you see Egyptian style and it's just mixed into desert style? It's all just sandstone. I mean, I've used a lot of sandstone, but you know, with the colour and everything, I think it just brings this build to life. We're still not finished with the outside either. I've got to do more statues, statues of like the pharaoh and stuff like that. Really not looking forward to that, but there you go. So there's still quite a lot to do. I'd say we're about halfway through, or once we've done the detailing of this room, we will be halfway through this series. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. If you are, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will see you guys in the next one.